Jump aboard the backlog boat. Robert, Jake, Stephanie will keep you afloat. Podcasting all night, sailing through the waves, talking games, movies, and the stardust they crave. They dive deep into the stories untold, exploring worlds with secrets so bold. Their voices echo through the recording mic, taking us on an adventure. Just hold on tight. Backlog Boat, it's a podcast treasure. Sailing through episodes, limitless pleasure. Join the crew and let your mind go free. The Backlog Boat, a journey you'll never wanna leave.
Welcome to the 14th episode of The Backlog Boat. As always, I'm your captain, Roberto Gonzalez. To my left, we have the navigator.
What's up?
And even further to my left, we have...
Hello.
It's been another month.
It's been about almost 2, actually.
It's the 10th, which I shouldn't have said because now everyone's going to know how long it's going to take me to edit this.
Mm-hmm. You're the one who dated the podcast. That one's on you, bro.
That's true. So, y'all do anything fun in April?
I tried to teach you judo, but you pussied out.
I didn't pussy out. I did what I could.
Literally a little bitch move.
Stephanie, did you do anything?
I technically applied for a conference. Well, I didn't apply yet, but we looked at conferences to do. So I may or may not be presenting in September.
Oh,
Ew, why? Is that like good for your career, or did you just feel like that would be a good hobby to have?
Technically, it's good for my career, but also too, we had an intern that really wanted to build her CV to apply for doctoral programs. So
Ew.
I would agree.
don't you ever have to go to conferences or anything, Jake, in your field?
No, why the fuck would I?
I don't know. Y'all do things that I've never seen because, I've only worked like weird jobs.
No, I just go back to school, pick up fucking shitty certificates, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, so how's that going?
Halfway through, in like a month and change. So blazing right through this 6-month certificate program.
What happens if you finish it like super early?
I don't think I get the certificate until I pay them in full. So I'm pretty sure I'd have to give them the remainder of the money.
Is it a 6-month certificate because that's how long the classes are? Or is it like...
That's how long you have to finish the 6 classes. That's about it. But yeah, doing that. Back to fucking going to Rob's house, try to fucking teach him judo. This motherfucker, as we're stretching, goes, my knee. And then taps out for the fucking rest of the fucking day.
We were all hungover /
Irrelevant.
a little drunk. Because we also went to the pajarete.
Stephanie, what you know about pajarete?
Just what Robert has told me about his dad.
Well, when you look it up, the first thing comes up is 25 people dead drinking pajarete in fucking Jalisco.
Okay. So that's a whole different thing. That's because they had a tainted batch, which we don't over here.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you already know this.
Pajarete is because I also did the same thing. My dad's been trying to get me to go do pajarete for like ever since he's been doing it. And I always refuse because one, it's super early in the morning. Also, it just...
Bitch, it was like 8.
Yeah, and what time do we normally wake up at after you guys come over?
Okay, I wake up, if I am not hanging out with you, I wake up at 6 on weekends, bro.
Yeah, and I also can wake up early if, we're not drinking hella and staying up till 3 in the morning singing.
I told you to pace your fucking selves.
So anyway, for one, super early in the morning, and Jake's saying it's 8 o'clock. Let me tell you what pajarete is. It's you get a cup, you put straight fucking Everclear fucking alcohol, some chocolate milk mix, and then they go straight from the udder of a goat, fresh milk in there, and you have yourself a little chocolate milk that's highly alcoholic.
Yeah, with Everclear in it.
But it's 8 a.m. It's not too early for that.
I've seen you do worse.
Then wake up and drink Everclear at 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
What the fuck have I done that's worse?
I'd argue like 2 Bud Light Platinums is worse.
It doesn't count if it was like when I had night shifts. And so technically, my Friday happened to be Monday morning at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. It's different. It was my nighttime. I was coming off work.
Yeah, see, I just feel bad for the fucking goat because they like basically put it in a cage so that they can milk it, but like they put a fucking flaming cup up to its titty, and like the fucking goat caught fire, and then the dude just patted it out, and he's like, "Oops."
I didn't say this was something that I'm fond of doing. We just ended up finally doing it because everyone else agreed. Oh yeah, fine, let's do it. And then I was like, well, I can't.
No,
do
you
that.
invited the one white boy who was down, and then it was all downhill from there.
I didn't invite him. My dad invited him.
Well,
And then after that,
you should have just
you
made
said
sure
you
that
would have gone.
they didn't interact. Well, yeah, because they ain't a pussy.
Well,
I was hoping to motivate you by not being a little bitch.
Yeah, and I ended up going too because I'm not going to just let you guys go.
And you're like, if I do this fucking dumbass thing with Robert, then maybe he'll be like more invigorated.
If we get fucked up at 8 a.m.
Would you rather have done fucking judo stone cold sober?
I wasn't I wasn't sober though. I was hungover, and then I was lit again.
Would you rather have done judo fucking stone cold hungover?
No, absolutely not. But yeah.
So after
do not recommend
animal abuse that killed one exotic bird and about 0 goats, we
okay. So we didn't kill any birds.
You think
they had this weird exotic bird that I've never seen before in my life, and I don't know what it's called. And they were talking about how cool and rare it is, and how they wanted to like start having more of them because they were going to incubate some eggs or something. I don't know. And then the next day, my dad got a phone call, and the bird tragically passed right after we went and saw it.
Probably because it doesn't belong in this fucking climate.
Perhaps, but it's been there for a while. It wasn't until we went. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah, and then we show up to Robert's garage. He's got a wrestling mat so he can teach his little nephew wrestling or whatever. And I was like, all right, boys, let's go. And then we start stretching, and Rob's just like, nah, fuck this. I'm not stretching. I was like, okay. And then we start doing the warm up. And then Rob's like,
stretching involved a fucking somersault while we're hungover.
No,
and I was
the stretching involved stretching. The warm up involved somersaults. And you were like, no.
I can't do a somersault normally. I'm definitely not doing one hungover.
Well, you won't ever learn if you don't ever fucking do one.
And then while we're hungover, he had us roll from one side of the mat to another and just fall and roll. And I was like, this is doing wonders for my nausea.
Told you, figure it out.
Multiple times I almost puked, and Jake's just like, wow, you're being a little bitch.
You were, dude.
I was about to puke, and then I was like, I'm gonna throw up on you. And he's like,
do it. You had weeks of prep time.
To not be hungover?
Yeah, told you, pace yourself. Fuck.
All right.
I wasn't hungover. Damn. I did also make him watch WrestleMania. I guess we did do that.
WrestleMania was lit.
WrestleMania was fucking tits, bro.
Logan Paul, you know of him, Stephanie.
Yes.
That Logan Paul match was absolute fucking fire. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. That shit was fucking gold.
I was watching it, and I was like, okay, this is wrestling. Okay, we got Logan Paul. It's on a big TV, and it's more HD than anything I've ever seen in my life. So I was like, damn, you can really tell it's real life wrestling once it's not pixelated. But I was still having a good time. I was like, whatever. And then all of a sudden I was brought back to my childhood. One of the most epic final matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that Logan Paul match is pretty good, Stephanie. You should start getting into wrestling. Dedicate 8 hours of your life a week to watching fucking wrestling.
8 hours a week?
2 4-hour shows. Raw and SmackDown.
Nah.
You don't understand. Logan Paul, my fucking hero, bro. He brought out the brass knucks and then immediately got fucking RKO'd.
He did bring out brass knuckles, which was wild. And then he's like, what, you think I'm not going to cheat?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Fucking no, it was like a really good fucking match. Because as soon as the match starts, because it's a 1v1v1 free for all. As soon as the match starts, Logan Paul immediately exits the ring, and then he's like, "You two fight." And then that
Well-
pisses Randy Owens and fucking, or Kevin Owens and fucking Randy Orton off. So they immediately just start kicking the shit out of him for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah. And then he's down and they're about to get the dub. And then they realize, oh, only one of us can get the dub. So then they start fighting each other.
And then Logan Paul takes advantage of this temporary alliance ending and comes back up from behind. But then immediately they're just like, nah, fuck this guy again. And then they both start kicking the shit out of him again for another 10 minutes. And then I think it was Randy Orton knocked out Kevin Owens. Logan Paul's down. Randy Orton's going to the top rope. And he's about to jump off and fucking finish off Logan Paul. And then a Prime Bottle mascot man comes into the ring and pulls Logan out of the ring right before fucking Randy can land his shot. And then I was like, damn, bro. Logan got saved by Prime.
It was literally a giant blue Prime bottle. It just ran out.
And then Randy Orton goes to confront the Prime Bottle for fucking up his match. And then the Prime Bottle pulls off his mask. And it's I Show Speed, who then immediately pisses off Randy Orton and gets put through a fucking table. It's really good. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I'm not even a wrestling fan, but I was like, damn, it's kind of fire. Not gonna lie. I got drunk and bought wrestling tickets for fucking Kennewick.
He did. And so that's happening in
Guess who has
September?
4 tickets to fucking see WWE in Kennewick in September.
It's true. You trying to pull up, Stephanie?
I'll have to think about it. Maybe.
You trying to see Randy Orton or Logan Paul or fucking Kevin Owens or fucking Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso? No, that final match was actually really fucking good. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, like that shit was magical.
Hold on, just because we got to get the reaction.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're trying to fucking show her clips.
I sent the Prime bottle one. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Some riveting audio right here.
All right. Well,
thought it was. Oh, sorry.
no.
I was watching it and I thought I was gonna see something else because I'm like that Prime bottle did not look that impressive, but I mean, maybe you just had to be there.
Well, no. I sent her the clip of when Randy Orton fucking kicks him.
Yeah, it was really fucking funny.
But I guess maybe you just had to be there. I don't know.
I don't know, bro. It's like I feel like now that you're like almost into D&D, maybe now you have like a greater appreciation for like improv, and that's like 50% of wrestling.
I mean, I've always liked improv. I used to go to improv shows.
Really? Then why can't you run a fucking D&D session? Huh?
Like I can. It's just with the time.
Why can't you just run 2 of them? Huh?
What do you mean? Like do another one?
Yeah, you ran one once, and you're like, I'm good.
No, we just haven't had the time to play with everyone.
What do you mean, bitch? I'm always there. Brand's fucking unemployed.
Well, I mean, technically not yet, right?
I'll skip my fucking final. I don't give a fuck. I haven't played D&D in months, bro. I'm fucking fiending.
I mean, all right, yeah. I mean, like whenever. I guess if everyone's free, we can run one. Not I'll fucking run a one shot after Bridgerton.
You.
What? Not about Bridgerton. I'm saying after.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, that was it. Wrestling, not grappling, because Robert's a pussy.
Jake, you grappled Bryce. Bryce had you fucking looking. Jake looked like a fucking tomato. All right. His face was red. He was sweating. He was like fucking. Like it looked like he refused to tap out, so he was about to die. And I was like, great.
No, he didn't have my neck, but like, yeah, bitch, I have no water in my body. It's overheating. Like I drank too much the previous night.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. It was a bad fucking time. And then you were just like, this is what I want.
I gave you 2 weeks of prep time, bro. You had 2 weeks to just make sure you weren't hungover that morning. And you fucking failed the mission.
And then you came over the night previously and was like, let's do karaoke.
I can do karaoke sober.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. You're just a pussy. Robert, just have more confidence, bro. Where's your fucking charisma stat at?
it goes away if I have to sing. All right. Anything else anyone want to mention about this month?
No, Rob's just a pussy. That's about it.
Okay, that's gonna be the title of this podcast. Rob's a pussy.
Okay, I'm glad.
All right, moving on then. Stephanie, you got no video games, so let's run through ours.
Damn.
Have y'all ever heard of this game called Content Warning?
I mean, I see it on Steam. Stephanie, have you seen anything on it? Aren't
Nope.
you like TikTok savvy or something?
I think, Robert, you explained it to me, but technically, have I seen anything before that point? No.
Okay. The Content Warning is probably a fun game, and I have had fun playing it. But it took the idea of Lethal Company, and it was like, what if we did that, but also you guys are YouTubers and you're trying to record a funny video? What if you have a video camera with limited footage and you got to make a video that gets hits? The concept is there. If the people I played the game with and myself knew more about, like, because there's like a lot of things you can buy. You can buy like better cameras, better flashlights to get better lighting for your views. You can get like props. I think you could buy like dances and stuff, which we never did because we never made enough money. So, like, maybe if we did more stuff, it would have been cool. But it's a very dark game, so you can't see that well. It's super easy to get lost. And we've talked about the sound design of Lethal Company before, and boy, does it shine even more once I see another game that tries to emulate the same thing but doesn't have the same depth of sound design. It's a fun, quirky game, but where I'll play Lethal Company for hours and have a good time. Running this one for a little bit, and then it runs out of steam real quick. We also tried running it with more people because we're like, oh, this will be fun. And so we used a mod to make it so that more people were there. And I don't know if it's because we tried modding it or whatever, but the way it works is each day, it's the same thing, 3 days, you have to get a certain amount of hits, which is different from Lethal Company's sell stuff, but it's the same concept. Go to the scary place, do the thing, accumulate a certain amount of points, or you don't make it. And so at the end of each day, you go and you like put the camera into this receptacle, and then it gives you the footage. And one feature that I do like is once you get the footage of the YouTube video you made and you go watch it, there's a little button there and you can just save your video and it'll save to your computer. So you'll have a little clip of you and your friends. And that's cool. But the last time we played with the mod, it was just like every time we put the camera in, it would be like, sorry, your footage didn't, like, it wouldn't, there was an error. Here's $1,000. And for one, that's not enough to make your quota. And for two, the whole point of the game is you get to see your little movie at the end, and we didn't get to. So we were just like, let's go play some party animals. So if someone bought it for you, or a bunch of people want to give it a try, and you didn't have to pay for it, go for it. Run it for the one time. It's worth that, and only that.
What are you like?
Do not recommend buying this game.
What are you filming? Is it like horror shit?
It's and like whatever will give you hits. So it does say that you want an exciting footage, you want scary footage, but like funny stuff works too. Like I said, think Lethal Company. You're walking around and there's a bunch of monsters and stuff. And so like if you film a monster, that's gonna get your views up. That part's fun too. When you're watching it, it is like a YouTube video and there's comments that are generating. And so it'll be like, oh my God, was that a monster? And people will be like, I think that person's dead. So if your teammates die, you definitely want to film them because that gets more views.
Sick.
Yeah. But like I said, the concept is there. And maybe, if they update this, I know it just got an update and I haven't played it since then. Maybe it will get better. Maybe it'll be more easily accessible. But I imagine that when they made this, because there's so many things that you can buy. like all these different cameras. You can get like a tripod to stand it, I think. There's like those clappers, that people do like at the beginning of movies, take two or whatever, and stuff like that. At the beginning, there's like a green screen, and you can put different images on the back of it to like make your YouTube video more exciting. But it's a lot, and you don't have that much money at the beginning. So, like I said, maybe we're dumb, and you're supposed to like get really far into this game, and then it'll open up to a lot of other things you can do. But when I look at a game like Lethal Company, where you can just like it's fun right from the beginning, and you can do most things with just like a flashlight, and you don't need to buy all the other things, and then it just gets better with the more stuff you have. It felt kind of whack that like it feels like you need to have a lot more things at the beginning in order to do good.
I mean, that's probably because this is like a Phasmophobia like and not a Lethal Company like. That's the vibe I'm getting.
See, okay.
Because if you take literally nothing into a Phasmophobia or Demonologist run, yeah, you're fucked.
Okay, and see, here's another thing. On top of it being a huge map, super easy to get lost in, you're also like, you can't breathe down there, so you're in suits. So like, you have an oxygen meter, and it's not that long. So it's, even if it was like, okay, well, I have a bunch of money, I can get a bunch of things, you don't have that much time to like film a really good video. And I mean, I'm sure you can. Like, I'm sure if people are hardcore playing this game, then yeah. But we kind of played it more like, oh, this is gonna be a fun party game. And
I would argue that, like, yeah, if it is a Phas or fucking Demonologist, like, those aren't fun party games. You can't just like chill out during a run.
yeah. Like I said, I mean, if someone bought it for you, cough, cough, maybe we'll give it a shot one day.
Maybe, but I don't have the game, so sucks.
And don't recommend buying it.
I know, but I do like that game studio, the Totally Accurate Battle Simulator studio / Totally Accurate Battle Royale.
The most fun that we had on this game is at the beginning before we went in. We were just like running around. You can pick up apples. We were throwing apples at each other. Like it's that goofiness, that fun stuff. But yeah, that's a content warning.
Sounds absolutely fucking riveting, bud.
Not all games are bangers. So what do you got, Jake?
What y'all know about cards? What you know about roguelikes, bro? What you know about card-based roguelikes?
I know Balatro is a thing, but
I mean Balatro.
whatever.
Yeah, I definitely was not playing Balatro. I was playing instead a obscure fucking 10-year-old fucking flash game-esque roguelike called Dream Quest, which is a deck building roguelike. It honestly plays very similar to what I've played of Slay the Spire. It's like indie as fuck. Like so indie, this entire game is drawn in MS fucking Paint. But I love that shit, bro. I look at that shitty MS Paint portrait and I'm like, yeah, give me that. Give me them fucking 200 by 200 fucking pixels, bro.
Oh, this game looks very primitive.
Beautiful. Shut your fucking whore mouth. So it's pretty simple. You pick a class, and then you press start, and then you drop into a random dungeon, which is basically a grid. And then you explore the dungeon and find like little events or treasures and enemies. And then there's a boss in every floor. And your goal is to kill the boss and then move to the next floor. But whether or not you want to stop off at the like events sections or kill all the enemies in the dungeon before you fight the boss is kind of up to you. Like I started to learn that like some enemies are just straight up not fucking worth killing as you go down. Like there's a clone enemy that'll just clone your deck. So if your deck is really good, you just instantly fucked yourself if you get into a fight with them.
So being good is bad in that case.
I mean, for that one enemy type. It's got like a weird amount of depth because you have your standard cards or whatever, which I think at the start of the game, every class can draw 2 cards out of their deck. And the default cards, like default attack cards, don't have any cost to play them. You just get to play them if you have them. So it'll be like, cool, deal 1 damage, or cool, deal 2 damage, or cool, gain 2 mana. But then the other cards are kind of where like play styles and like resource management starts coming in. So there's like a card type called like action cards, which use a separate resource called actions. And I think you start off with one action, but action cards are like very, very good. They usually do something better than normal cards. So it'll be like, cool, deal damage and then draw a card, or like take an extra turn, heal, make a opponent discard a card, etc. And then there's magic cards which cost mana to play, which is pretty straightforward. But then you start off with like 4 classes: the warrior, the rogue, the priest, and the wizard. And then you kind of start understanding like the various decks you can build, basically based off of their 4 playstyles. Like the warrior type likes to mainly use just a bunch of regular basic attack cards, but then they can also make use of actions and or spells if you want to like build them that way. So you can like start getting like action cards to increase the amount of cards you draw, or like take extra turns, or like disable your opponent and then hit them for heavy damage with your normal attacks. Or you could build like a wizard that has like elemental cards, and you specifically try to memorize what monsters are weak to and hit them with their elemental weakness. The rogue is basically about as drawing as many cards as you can and dumping as many cards as you can. And the priest is weird because they're like a warrior wizard hybrid, but a lot of their spells are based around like healing and shielding damage. And they get access to a thing called prayers, which are like you pick an amount of turns you want to wait for the card to activate, and then the card will activate after that many turns. So, like, one of them is like, for every turn you wait, this card will deal 3 damage. So if you pick 3 turns, then at the end of 3 turns, the card will deal like 9 damage to your opponent.
Oh, I can play this on my phone.
So the game's got like a, I don't think there's an Android version, but there might be an iPhone version.
Oh, actually, it says designed for iPad. Stephanie, is there some games that are just for iPad, not for iPhone?
You can still play them, but the UI is going to look whack.
There you go.
I see.
But yeah, fun little roguelike. I never actually like played much of Slay the Spire. I don't know why, I just never got super into it, but the MS Paint art is charming me, drawing me into this beautiful little game. Plus, like, there's also just like a bunch of in-game achievements, and then the more achievements you unlock, the more classes and cards you unlock to add to your deck.
You want to know what this game looks like, Stephanie? It looks like the Impossible Quiz.
And it's good.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my been my go-to roguelike the past month.
Okay.
No further questions, then what you got?
I played this cute little game that I think you guys would both enjoy. And I will recommend this to everyone and anyone. It's on Xbox Game Pass. Have y'all ever heard of a game called Unpacking?
Yep.
Stephanie?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that game is on the Switch too.
I think it is. Have you played it?
Maybe? Because I was like, that's also the Steam one. Yeah, I was about to say it's on other platforms, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I just meant it's free on Game Pass. Or, well, I guess it's on Game Pass. It's not free because you pay for it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, this game, very simple. You're unpacking things in your room. And you're basically told someone's kind of life story through unpacking into the room. So, like, the first level, it's like maybe you moved to a new house, maybe you just finally got your own room or something, but it's very clearly a kid's room, and there's all these boxes, and as you open a box, you'll click on the box, and a random item will show up, and then you got to place it somewhere in the room. And it's really fun. It's really cute because it's fun little organizing game. It's chill. It's calm. And then as you keep progressing, as you get older, you'll go to like, oh, this is your dorm room. And so then you'll see there's a map and it shows you all the rooms, but you only have access to certain places. So the bathroom, which is a shared bathroom, the living room, and then your room. And it's just, again, you just have to organize things, put them where they go, and it's fun because little details like, oh, you put when you move, you put most of the boxes where you think they go. So like all your boxes that have stuff that go in your room are going to be in your room. But every once in a while, there'll be something that goes in the bathroom and the box in your room and stuff, and it's all very realistic and it feels good and it feels nice. And at the end of the like once you have everything out of the boxes, uh if you misplace something or you put something where it doesn't belong, it'll tell you and it'll be like outlined in red, and it's like, oh, okay, you gotta it doesn't go there, it doesn't belong there. You have to find out where it goes. It might not go in that room, or it might just not go in that place. So like if you put a cutting board not in the right drawer, or if you leave it out, they'll be like, hey, you got to put this somewhere else. And this game did have one moment where I was like, damn, they got me. It's very emotional, but I'm assuming you guys may or may not play this game at some point, or someone might, so I won't spoil what that is. There's probably like 8 to 10 levels, somewhere around there.
Is it really that short?
Well, it's like if you just play it nonstop, you can probably do it in like an hour and a half or two. But it's like I hyper focused on it. I can easily see this as a game that you don't finish in one sitting. Like if I wasn't procrastinating doing what I really needed to be doing at the time, I probably wouldn't have finished it in one sitting. The only reason I finished it in one sitting was because I had other shit to do that I didn't want to do. And I was like, oh, I'll just play one level. And then, yeah. So in case anyone's wondering, that thing I said I was going to do at the beginning of the year absolutely did not work. I procrastinate all the goddamn time.
Well, you fucked it.
But it's a fun, cute game. It's if you're looking to just chill out and not worry about anything and just get lost in a little comfortable game, this is a good one.
Well, is it like a... Well, it was my impression that this was a narrative game, and then the puzzles were an excuse for that fucking narrative, basically.
Well, like I said, yeah, so you're following the life of someone. So each time it's like I said, at some point it's like, oh, you're sharing this with someone. And then at some point it's like, oh, this is obviously your first apartment and it's just you for the first time ever. And you can tell by like the things that you have. And then it's like, oh, hey, this is someone's like house that's already it's already furnished, it's already like set up, and you're just throwing your shit here now. And so that's how it tells you the story, like through little details like that.
I mean, it sounds neat. If it's only like an hour and a half, then I'm sure I can fucking burn through it at some point.
Yeah, no, it's really cute. I think y'all would both like it. That's it for unpacking.
Well, I guess this is back to me.
Yeah.
Stephanie, how do you feel about League of Legends?
I mean, it is, I guess.
Okay, how do you feel about Overwatch?
Kind of how I feel about League of Legends.
Okay, how would you feel about a League of Legends Overwatch hybrid?
I would say that sounds like basically the same game.
All right, I can tell you haven't played either of these fucking games. Welcome to Gigantic!
I've played League.
You played League?
Continue.
No. I want to hear about you playing League. Fuck Gigantic. Dumpster it. You played League?
Way before, in the way before times.
Who'd you mean?
What Gigantic sounds like it is a cross between these things.
No, we're mining. We're mining now. Who'd you play in League of Legends?
How about you guys talk about this first?
Who did you main, Stephanie? I swear to God.
We're gonna do that one thing again where it's the whole Vocaloid thing.
Was it Annie? Was it Caitlyn? Was it Ari? What elo did you get to?
Oh my god. I'm just gonna
I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, what do you want from me, bro?
I'm trying to hear about this game. That is not League of Legends.
No, fuck this game, bro. I'm trying to talk about League.
Whoa.
All right, Stephanie doesn't want to talk about how she used to be a diamond level player and then got snuffed
I was toxic back then.
when she applied to make the world's team, and that's why she doesn't play League of Legends anymore.
It's beautiful. Spot on.
All right, whatever. Gigantic is a MOBA hero shooter hybrid. You got your 4 roles, which most games usually have, or MOBAs have like 3. But you got your assassins, your tanks, your supports, and your range damage. And the way this game works is it's a 5v5 game, and the teams basically go up against each other, and they're fighting for control over these capture points. And every capture point they manage to capture, they get 20 points. And for every kill they get 20 or 10 points. And once a team hits 100 points, their gigantic monster thing that's on their side of the map flies over and sucker punches the enemy's gigantic monster thing shown on their side of the map. And then you got to mad dash all the way over there and shoot the fuck out of the enemy gigantic while it's incapacitated. And then you keep doing that back and forth until the enemy gigantic is dead, basically. So it's very interesting because playing the objective is super important. But what is more important is just making sure you don't fucking die. So it's like a weird, yeah, it's objective based, but it's also almost like team deathmatch. Like if you're just good enough at killing people, you can just earn more points for your team and then get that 100-point threshold and then just go fuck up the enemy gigantic. But I really like this MOBA. It's back. I think it came out at the same time as Overwatch, and then basically almost instantly fucking died because Overwatch just came out and killed fucking everything.
It's very well balanced in how it gets you to play the game. Because, like you said, if you're really good at killing, you can just go kill people. But if you're not, then you can also just like go grab one of the objectives and get more points, which will get you there faster. But then also people are incentivized to go to those objectives because there's going to be people there to kill. So it's like every single part of it works towards making you do what you got to do.
Yeah, and even like abandoning your team to go get those capture points is like, you got to debate whether or not that's worth it. Like, cool, if you're the healer and there's a wide open capture point, do you leave the tank to go get that capture point and just leave him just eat shit and die?
Because if you get it, that's 20 points. But if you leave, your tank dies, and then also they see that you're alone over there. They're going to run over there, kill you after they killed the tank, and then capture the point themselves. So it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, pretty much. I also just like that there's not actually a lot of characters. I think there's only like 30, but every single character feels wildly fucking different. Like the healers are not built the same. Like one person has AoE heals every 20 seconds, but the other person has very shitty heals consistently. So even like the people that are designated to be heal bitches have very different playstyles you have to get used to. Like same with the range DPS. Like there's a girl who just has guns and a rocket launcher, and then you shoot your guns and rocket launcher. And then there's a girl with a sniper rifle who gets absolutely fucking decimated in melee combat, but can like pick off enemy backliners from afar, I suppose. Like all the tanks are weird and different. So like the guy I play basically runs in there, does a bunch of damage, leaves, heals up, comes back, and you do like hit and run tactics. But then there's like just an actual proper tank who just sits there with a shield that deflects projectiles and actually stands in front of the team to tank damage. It's really fun. I'm sad that the servers are on fucking fire.
Yeah, it's really hard to get games or to stay in games more than one match at a time.
They added crossplay, I think, just to ensure the longevity of the game this time, so that PC players can play with Xbox players and PlayStation players. But like the servers, like you're constantly disconnecting from games, and like after a game ends, like my game just fucking crashes on PlayStation. So like that's cool. And sometimes you like will invite your friends to games and they just won't get the invites. Like it's a fucking shame because I think this game, I'm not going to say it was going to be the next Overwatch, but it could have been one of those games that people played for a long time, and now it's kind of like in jeopardy because of that. Like I thought maybe it could be like an Omega Strikers, or like, I don't know, Rob, what's another game, live service game that's not League or Overwatch or fucking Fortnite?
I mean, see, I what I want to say about this game is, while it does have a lot of similarities and people will compare it to Overwatch, League, games like Smite and all that, it also is kind of fresh. Like there's similarities, but it's also very different in like that it is like, oh, these two giant monsters. Oh, you have to go get this many points and then go kill them. And it's like I said, it's similar enough that people will draw the similarities, but I have not seen anything like this game before.
Yeah, because it is a MOBA through and through, a multiplayer online battle arena. But like, it feels like a third-person shooter a lot of the time, especially the ranged classes that just have fucking guns.
Like, I think most people who like, if you've played games like League or like Overwatch, you'll play this and you'll be like, oh, I can do this. This is fun. Whereas I don't think you can do the same for like League or Overwatch.
I don't know. Gigantic's pretty hard to pick up, especially if you have no fucking idea what's going on. Like, the problem is the characters play so differently that you can't just pick somebody up and start doing shit. Like Overwatch, you can basically pick up any character and then learn how to play them then and there. And Gigantic, you can just pick up a character and then just get shit on instantly.
I guess that's fair.
Especially because they have level up trees like League of Legends, except every single ability has multiple different like perks you can attach to it. So I'm like, okay, I want my basic attack to have a higher, faster fire rate or whatever. Or I want my basic attack to have better range. Or I want my basic attack to heal me for a little bit of damage. Like, there's all these different routes and shit you can go with your character, and then you can kind of build them however you like to play, but also it takes like an extensive amount of knowledge to do that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of filling my Overwatch craving after Overwatch just came out and shit itself with Overwatch 2. So I'm kind of hoping Gigantic manages to stay in the ring and not instantly die like a bunch of other games, like it did the first time.
Here's hoping. But I guess we'll see. This game is on PlayStation. I don't recommend picking it up, Stephanie.
No, but we'll have a good time. I can't wait to bring out the Toxic X Diamond League player out in Stephanie. I know there's a shot caller in there somewhere.
I'll put it in the backlog.
Yeah, when the game's fucking dead.
All right. Well, that's it for games this month. We all kind of didn't really do too much.
Bitch, I've been going to school. What are you talking about?
Well, I meant like
I took 3 classes in 1 month.
Oh, I was talking about video games specifically. But okay. It looks like so Stephanie, you have 2 movies, but
I just have one technically.
Yeah. I was like, really like, there'd be no point in you talking about the second one and then waiting a whole turn and then talking about the third one. So you want to just talk about both of them in one go?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
What'd you watch?
All right. So I watched the second movie, to Planet of the Apes, and I watched the third one as well. And so, how many of you actually like watched it? Jake, Robert?
I haven't seen any of them, but like Planet of the Apes is like a weirdly beloved franchise that I just didn't know had fans.
Same.
Okay, so these are the new ones, right? The ones
Yes,
after
these are
James
not.
Franco?
Yeah, not the 1968 ones, and then not the 80s ones, and then not the 2001.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've watched the first. Well, I've watched a lot of the old ones, but of this trilogy, I've only watched the first one,
Yeah, and
the Caesar trilogy.
yeah, I was like, and no pun intended. It's kind of like bananas, but without the bananas. Like, there's just
Is there no
going on.
bananas?
There actually is not, and it makes sense because I don't know if you remember the end of the first one. For the people who do, people that don't.
So if I remember correctly, these movies are canon with the 2001 one, right? Because like I thought you see his spaceship or something, or they mention his spaceship
What the fuck?
at the end
There's
of
a
the first
spaceship?
one. Well, if you watch the
I haven't watched any of them.
Planet of the Apes, well, okay.
I thought it was just about a monkey that is now smart
Pretty
and
much.
then realizes animal abuse is a thing.
Have you seen the 2001 one, Stephanie?
I have, and I'm gonna say this. So this one is a little bit different. So, just for people who don't know, there really is, I guess, like where the planet does become all apes, like in the older ones. And also too, like there is a point where there is space travel. And so again, with this, I guess with this, I don't even know what to call it, like segue, not even a segue, but I guess like a separate timeline. It does not deal with time travel, or not time travel, but like space travel or anything like that.
Well, like, what the fuck is the original movie about then? Like, do they just go fight aliens, like Star Trek style? Like, why is there space travel in my monkey movie?
They're monkeys, okay?
Because in the OG movies, it's a space crew, and they land on this planet of the apes.
Oh,
Planet where apes are the
is the twist that it's like America or whatever.
well.
Here's like the weird part. So I don't know. Have you seen the old ones, Robert, or no?
I've seen like I don't probably the 80s, not the 60s. I've seen
Okay.
some of those, and then I watched the 2001 one, and then I watched the first of the new ones. But then there's like there's these two that you watched that I haven't watched, and they just made another one.
Yep, it just came out literally this weekend. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I started this. But anyway, so basically there is like again through one of them, I don't specifically remember which one, but it's one of the older ones where you end up finding out that, and it's not like a huge thing, but like you see that basically the Statue of Liberty and everything is covered with like dust. So it's like kind of hinting that this was Earth before, and it's like this huge thing. And I don't know. I guess like the dude is like a really prominent actor from that time period, but I have no idea what his name is. But I digress. That's not about that. This franchise does have a lot of twists and turns, but with this one, it was right after James Franco. Also, too, just going to say this now again, with the franchise going forward, that was James Franco like last, let's say last stand, but last featuring in the movie. And so it's just like really interesting because they don't really explain it away, but they do plant, I guess, clues as to why he's not there. It's just really weird though. And of course, right, I'm pretty sure that's not what they expected, but it's what happened. So
Yeah, because
just really
Caesar's the
interesting
main
stuff.
character, right? James Franco just happened to be.
Yes, but also it does continue. So it's just like really weird a little bit that
I think I've seen either part of the second one or some of it, because like is Caesar kind of the leader, and then like his leadership gets questioned
I
because they want
mean,
to take out the humans, and he kind of doesn't.
that's usually what happens in all of them, if I'm being
Well,
honest.
yeah, but
No,
does
but
that
yeah.
happen in the second one? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
I might have seen the second.
And so I'll just say this. So basically with the movies, if you've never seen them, that's totally all right. Basically what is happening in this franchise is that uh basically there is this specific flu or virus that's going around for humans, and it's basically killing us off. But also too, there are people who are developing a like forgot, not resilience, but immunity. There we go. Immunity to it, but also too they're still experiencing side effects. So again, if you were to get this flu, you could start losing your ability to speak, or like the language part of your brain is like contaminated, and so then you can't speak anymore. But simultaneously, monkeys are gaining the ability to speak. And so that's how Caesar comes into this. He's actually being taught by all of these researchers, different things like that, language, and also to like speaking, sign language, and also how to read. And so he continues, and then somehow, some way, if you haven't seen the first one, he is off on his own, and he has his basically own civilization of monkeys that look to him for what to do next. And there are, again, like mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters in this ape civilization. And so basically throughout these movies, it's Caesar trying to do what's best for him, but also to trying to coexist with humans, and how, of course, right, coexisting never really works, even between humans or even between species sometimes. So of course
Orangutan.
there's, let me tell you, also too, I ended up finding out that they like made up monkeys. So there are particular species of monkeys that are what is to be expected in the future of what they'll look like. which I thought was just so weird. But anyway,
Future
So they
monkeys?
made them like they're not modeled after real monkeys.
so I didn't know this, so I'll just say this, and it's not giving anything away. So specifically, there's a monkey called Maurice, and basically he is an evolved orangutan. So it's not actually what orangutans look like. Also, too, if you were to actually look at his face and bone structure and everything else, you'd be like, "Huh, that doesn't look right." And it's because I guess what their whole thing was is that he is evolved, and this is what they look like now.
Weird.
Wild.
Yeah. So anyway, it was very interesting. I think it's something that I don't know you could like put on and not really like pay attention to, and you'd still understand like what's going on, sorta. But there are more points. I feel like in the 2001 movie, like there was more speaking. In this one, there isn't. It is a lot of sign language, and also too, then there's some talking, but not really. So it's just really interesting. But good movies. Basically, the second one and the third one are kind of very similar because it's a continuation of this war that's going on with humans. So
Does the third one kind of like end expecting a fourth one, or does it like is the story contained and it could be over there?
it could be over there, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
So what's the social commentary like? What's this movie really about, Stephanie?
Well, I also don't want to say anything to that.
It's about COVID, isn't it? It's just a metaphor for COVID.
COVID hadn't even happened when the second one came out.
All the humans get vaccinated and they die.
I will say this. Let's just say
It was
that
a fake vaccine the whole time. It was actually a government ploy, bro.
if there were no monkeys in this, it's very similar to what's going on with just racial tension. And that's what like makes it like really terrible to kind of
nope, hold up.
no. And you
I was
think I'm
joking.
joking, but like
You're
that's
gonna need to
really what it is.
clarify the monkey movie is about racial tension very carefully.
I will say it's like all humans, right? So I guess another parallel, which is also not going to be great either, is kind of what's going on with other wars happening right now and how like when people are different things like that, like we just don't get along for whatever reasons. The only thing that really freaking just comes out about the second movie in particular is that what they have written like on the walls, literally on the walls, and also to what they have written on like soldiers' backs, different things like that. So like again, don't just think about like I guess now, but also to think about like racial tensions in like biblical times. It's just it's very hard not to like make those connections. And of course, you're right. This was back in the day when this had come up, and I think also too, this isn't like a new pop culture thing. Like Planet of the Apes has been like a thing for a while, and so it's kind of keeping that in mind. And then when you have that lens on it, it just makes it kind of harder to watch. But also too, it's like this is like really terrible, and it's the same thing. Also too, I don't know. You could literally put like robots or anything like that. Like just having tension with things that you either don't understand or don't accept, in how there can be somebody that will like purposely mess things up just because they don't like it. It's wild.
Fantastic answer, and I can't wait for you to ask Jake the same line of questioning during his movie.
Oh, I can't wait.
But so in good movies, you recommend watching these?
I think anybody could really watch them. Also, too, like there was a point where there was research about this, where like again, who is or not who, but like what is? It reminds me of the like iPet. Did you all ever know what that was?
The fuck is an iPad?
The little
So-
dogs that had like little LEDs in the front. They were white.
No. So PlayStation had came out with this thing and it was called iPet or whatever. And basically it was like using the camera that they had for the PlayStation 3. I think it was the PlayStation 3 or was it the PlayStation
The
4?
PlayStation Eye or whatever?
Yeah, and basically like there was a game with it and it had like this dog monkey that people really liked, and it was because again, like I guess people's favorite like animals were dogs and monkeys. And so they created it into one. So basically, right, people just really like animals and specifically those two. So again, if that's what you're into, it's something to watch. And of course, just thinking about all of those other societal things that are there too being talked about in that movie. So you can
How
either
does the
just watch it.
how does the CGI hold up? I remember watching the first one a long time ago and thinking that like Caesar looked pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree.
But like, are you like, oh, looks like a video game, or is it like it looks pretty good?
No, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I would say that.
All right, I'll definitely probably watch these eventually,
Mhm.
especially with that new one coming out.
They're making more of these. Why do I just not know anything about this fucking franchise?
Like I
It
said,
like
the new
just
one
came
dropped
out.
today.
Holy fuck.
Moist Critical already has a video on it, and he says it's really good.
Can't wait. Gonna go see it anyway.
All right. Well, that's a little Planet of the Apes action. Jake, why don't you talk about a movie you watched?
I watched this really bad movie a couple weeks ago. It's not really worth talking about. Rob, what you got?
All right. I got a movie that I watched that I will recommend everyone. It is called The Holdovers. Have y'all heard about this?
No, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Same.
All right. So this movie, amazing. It's a cozy little Christmas movie, and it's about all these students that go to this private school. One of those where like you like live on campus, and you got a teacher played by Paul Giamatti, or professor, I guess, and he's kind of an asshole, and I say that from the student perspective because he's just doing his job. He's a really strict teacher that really believes in education, and he's really hard on it. And he's one of the only teachers that does this, so much so that it causes tension between other professors because it's a bunch of rich kids that go here. And one of the things he did is he didn't pass this really rich kid, and his dad donated a lot of money to the school. And so they're like, bro, just give him a C. And he's like, no. So he's that kind of teacher.
So a
And
good teacher.
which is why I said asshole from my point of view, because you know I wasn't I was kind of a lazy student in my day, so I hated teachers like this.
Yeah, I know. You're
But
fluent in Spanish and you flunked out.
I didn't flunk out. I got a C.
Fucking brutal.
I'm sorry.
I got a C in Spanish class because I refused to do any of the homework at home. And so, and I already knew. So I literally would do all my homework right there in class, finish it. Perfect. But that also meant I didn't do any of the projects. And they were worth like 30 or 40% of our grade. I don't know. And I literally just didn't do them. I got 0 on all of them. Still got a C though.
What projects do you mean?
It was like, so there was no reason for me not to do them because we got time in class to work on them. Anything that involved like making a poster or doing anything like that, unless it was a group project, then I had to do my part. But if it was just any project that you had to do by yourself, I just didn't do it.
Yeah, it blows my fucking mind that like it'd be like having a fucking PhD in physics and you flunked out of fucking algebra.
But
Like,
anyway,
you had it in the
no,
bag, bro.
I was lazy. I was preoccupied on other things. All right, so holdovers. It is approaching Christmas break, and all the students are going to go back to their parents, and they're going to go be on break. A lot of people are excited. They're going to go snowboarding. They're just excited to not be at school. And then there's what we call the holdovers, the kids who can't go back home. They have to stay at the school. And so you get this group of kids, they have to stay at school. And because they have to stay at school, that means that one professor also has to stay and one cafeteria person because they got to get fed. Everyone else gets to go home. They have to stay there. Paul Giamatti gets fucked into doing it because it's someone else's turn to do it. And they're like, oh, my mom's sick. Can someone else do it? And so they end up having Paul Giamatti do it. So you get the strictest teacher with all these kids, and it's like they don't want to be there, he doesn't want to be there. Sucks. There's one kid who's supposed to go on break, and he's, making fun of some other people because he's like, haha, I get to go. And then in a really fucked up way, his mom is basically like, hey, can you just stay at school? And so then he has to stay. And it's like, well, sucks to suck. But then at one point, one of the students that has to stay behind, his rich dad's like, hey, yeah, let's all go snowboarding. I'll get all the students. I'll have my helicopter show up. And so the professor calls everyone's parents, and they all answer and say, yeah, you guys are good to go. Except for the kid whose mom said, please stay. She doesn't pick up the phone. So he has to stay with the professor. And it's just them two and the cafeteria lady for the rest of the winter break. And that's the meat of the movie. It's this relationship between this kid and this professor and this lunch lady having to be alone together over winter break. And it's just a feel-good drama that goes to some dark places, goes to some emotional places, but it ends up being a really good feel-good movie that I'll probably rewatch multiple times because it's that good.
Feel good, huh?
Well, like I said, it goes to some places, but it's feel good in the way that what's that movie called? How You Like 'Em Apples? Matt Damon, Ben
Dear
Affleck.
John. Shawshank Redemption.
What the fuck? No, Stephanie, you know what I'm talking about?
What?
I'm so upset that I don't remember the name of this fucking movie.
The Green Mile.
Good Will Hunting. It's feel good in the way Good Will Hunting's feel good. You guys have seen Good Will Hunting, right?
This
Yes.
is literally called The Backlog Boat, Robert. Do you think I've fucking seen Good Will Hunting?
I would fucking hope you have. It's a very popular movie.
Okay, yeah, you're right. When I was 9, I saw Good Will Hunting on TV, and I was like, you know what? This looks like something a 9-year-old would want to watch.
I didn't watch Good Will Hunting until I was like, I don't know, in college. But okay. It's a feel good movie. I think you guys should watch it. Very enjoyable. It's just about the human condition and how we come from different places, but we can all relate to being human.
Ew.
I mean, that's my recommendation. All right, how about you actually talk about your movie now?
Why? I know you're just looking for an excuse to talk about fucking Batman.
I'm not talking about it. You are.
I watched the second Batman movie, the one with Michael Keaton. It was pretty good. He does look a little bit silly in his costume, though. Any questions?
The second Batman movie, the one with Michael Keaton.
Yep.
All right, Stephanie, your turn to grill him.
What do you mean?
He was asking you a bunch of questions about Planet of the Apes. Now it's time for you to give him the same treatment.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
You're too kind. I watched the second Batman movie in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, The Dark Knight. This movie's really fucking funny. Like, this movie is, I don't know if it's intentional or it's just like Christopher Nolan's playing the shit so straight, but he can't because it's a fucking stupid superhero movie. But it's really fucking funny. Like, there are some fire fucking lines in this movie that, like, I don't give a fuck about Batman, but then I hear them lines like, yeah, that's Batman.
Because it's Batman, bro.
Unironically, I think this is just really good thriller. I have I guess I saw the first Batman, the one before this, in theaters, but I literally remember nothing about it. And then I tried watching this movie multiple times, but always while I was hammered, so I kept falling asleep. But yeah, it's brought about many a meme. It's a film that's educated an entire generation of young men on how to be men. You know, it's like a what is it? Chicken noodle soup for the soul. It's like that, but like in movie format.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Look, man, the Joker is an inspiration to us all. You know, we really do live in a society.
You know, I just realized now that like, because I don't know how far you are on season 2 of Dungeons and Daddies, but like, did any of the Joker stuff like make sense to you?
It's been memed to death. It all made perfect sense.
Um,
I don't know. Like, this movie is like, it's like a good thriller, but it's also a stupid fucking superhero movie. So everything's just like easily memed to fucking death. Like every single fucking word out of the Joker's mouth ranges from terrifying to like actually just funny or edgy because it's so fucking edgy and funny.
yeah, I mean that's just the Joker. Always has been.
Uh,
He's edgy and funny and scary. That's not
I
new.
really
Batman.
like that part where fucking Bruce Wayne's just a bitch the entire movie because he's petty and upset about his breakup with Rachel, but he's like feels like he's being a bitch. He's like, how do I do my duty as a superhero, but also get back at my fucking ex? I don't know. What if I just like ruin her date? Just fuck up her weekend plans. I'll do that. Stephanie, have you seen this movie? Has Robert made you watch this movie? His favorite movie?
I watched it before. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say it's not my favorite movie, and everyone and their mom has watched this movie.
literally, it's a good movie.
It
I know. I
is.
just didn't give a fuck about superheroes. It's good.
You don't have to for this movie, as you've said so yourself.
No, yeah, it's just really fucking funny. Like the "I'm not wearing hockey pants" fucking lines, and the "I know how you got these scars."
That was pretty good.
Like the plot of this movie to me is like almost irrelevant. It's literally just like it's like a clip show of fucking memes.
Yeah,
But I will say that fucking scene where they're escorting Dent in the like bulletproof truck, that is like legitimately one of the most like tense scenes I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Like my asshole is clenched for that entire sequence.
That's a statement.
Bro, it's like actually fucking horrifying. Like the way it starts with the Joker literally just playing peekaboo with a fucking sawed off.
yeah, that guy gets fucked.
Like literally, like it happened so fast and it was so brutal that I just didn't know what to do other than laugh.
This movie could have almost been rated R.
I mean, I feel like it didn't need to be, but if it would have been rated, I don't know. I don't know if the movie would be as funny if it was rated R.
No, I mean as is.
They do enough cutaways. He does fucking stab Common in the throat, but there's no blood.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is there is a lot of very brutal violence in that movie.
But yeah, I don't know. It's very weird to me to think about how many like kids that grew up during this era who like love Batman. Cause like he's kind of fucking scary. He did literally just throw a dude off of 3 stories and snap both of his fucking knees. And like, you know, he does like beat the shit out of people within an inch of their fucking life. There's a couple plot holes in this movie that confuse me.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's like, you know, when the Joker just shows up at Bruce Wayne's house and then just leaves without recompense or like any kind of like chase or recourse. Like, damn, bro, you're Batman. Like, you could have just chased him down. Plus, also,
Nah.
like, is it explained why he could fall like 10 fucking stories and be fine?
Yeah, because he's Batman.
That's literally it. It's just like I'm just built different.
But then
I'm just
later
on
in
my
the
signal
movie,
male grind set.
when he falls like 3, it's
Yeah, people
really
thought he
bad.
fucking died.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
I know, good movie. A lot of dog murder though, so that'll take a point off. Because I
He does
remember being
kill
like,
a lot of dogs.
I literally was watching him fight the dogs on top of that skyscraper, and I was like, it'd be really funny if he just threw that dog off the skyscraper, and then he does, and I was like, oh.
It'd be really funny if he does this. Wait, no, don't do it, please.
Man, it'd be really funny if you threw the second dog off the skyscraper. Whoa! And then he goes for the 3-hit combo, and I'm like, damn, bro, you literally just fucking Heihachi Mishima all 3 of those fucking dogs.
Sometimes.
Good movie though. Yeah.
So what do you think this movie really means? What's it really about, Jake?
I think this movie is about a government overreach. They decided to really violate the law and violate the rights of the criminal enterprises running Gotham, which ultimately caused all hell to break loose. So,
What about tapping into everyone's phones and having access to?
yeah, I told you government overreach, bro. NSA, they're listening to this podcast right now. And then they're like, yeah, you're right. It was pretty funny when he killed those 3 dogs.
I mean, the movie.
I'm not
is,
gonna lie, I fucking forgot that was a plot point in the movie where Batman's just like, yeah, I have the technology to spy on the entire city whenever the fuck I feel like it.
He had to do things that weren't ethical, bro.
Yeah, I like how Morgan Freeman's shaming him for that. And then the Joker blows up a fucking hospital.
Where's the correlation there? I don't think he was praising the Joker.
Yeah, but like at that point, like, you'd be like, yeah, okay, go get him.
I think it was more the fact that it was his technology that he used. You know,
And whatever, silly comic book movie. I'll put it up there with I don't know, Doctor Strange.
Spider-Man 2, greatest fucking superhero movie ever. All right, cool. Glad
It's not like up there with like the greats, like Iron Man 1, The Avengers, or
Spider-Man
Infinity
2.
War. But it's like up there with like Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Daredevil, Catwoman, featuring Halle Berry.
Yep. Those are all movies that are
Green
up there.
Lantern,
Never seen it.
Wolverine Origins.
Wolverine Origins has one of the best intros of all time. Should have been the whole
Wolverine's Origins also has the shittiest Deadpool of all time.
movie. Yeah.
I don't like when did, because in my head, superhero movies got good after the first Iron Man movie. So when did this movie come out in like
2008.
Did it come out after or before?
Pretty sure after. Pretty sure.
So Iron Man 1 dropped in 2008 May,
No, I guess both in 2008.
and The Dark Knight released 3 months later. Okay, so I guess, yeah, this movie literally dropped when superhero movies started getting good. Holy shit, I forgot The Incredible Hulk was a movie that came out in 2008.
I also really enjoy that movie.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah. With Edward Norton?
I don't believe you.
What do you mean?
I'm looking at this CG and it's like giving me like PTSD I didn't know I had.
Bro, he's got to fight some wolves at one point. It's pretty fire.
You know, Stephanie was like, yeah, you know, you just like repress your memories because of trauma. And looking at the cover of this fucking film, now like I'm starting to agree.
All right. Is that it for movies?
I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm gonna fucking remember The Incredible Hulk 2008. It's gonna awaken something in me, bro. It looks so shit. What is this? What is this villain? Hulk? What is he?
It's Hulk versus the army, but also
Abomination? Is that what his fucking
yeah,
superhero
because
name is?
they're able to take they do a thing and then they inject it to someone else and they become Abomination. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but
This movie has the counselor from Holes.
it's got a lot of people.
Okay, well, memory unlocked, I guess. I forgot.
All right.
2008, the year when movies started getting superhero movies started getting good, and then ruined cinema for forever.
I don't think superheroes are what did that, but let's move on to TV shows. Stephanie, batter up.
All right, sounds good. So I'm gonna just talk about these two because they're kind of similar, and honestly, they came out literally the same year, and they're literally about the same thing. So, I ended up watching Aoishi. I don't think I'm saying that right, but that's totally okay. It's basically a soccer anime, but it's like less intense. Like it actually goes through the fundamentals of soccer and how like things are used. Also, two different plays that are actually seen, and I thought it was like a really good anime. Also, too, the dub is kind of like not so great, but it was like overall good. It had like everything. So it had the sports anime stuff. It had some romance. Also, too, it was like just nice. So would recommend. Definitely would agree with its rating. I think it's like an 8.2. Would agree with that.
So what'd you
Pretty
learn
nice.
about soccer?
The use of triangles. That's the biggest thing.
No, you learned that from Ted Lasso. You're full of shit. What did you actually learn about soccer watching this anime?
No, I would say that's a big thing. So it also goes through like the different points. And so like Ted Lasso, like they mention it, but you can actually see it being played out. And also too, so they do the same things where they actually like focus in on like plays, right? But they have the little dots or whatever. I'm not using technical terms. And it was just really cool to see. They also went through like ball handling and different things like that and different skills that you can use to actually like increase your skills. And I was like, oh, this is like really nice. It was like very like beginner friendly and it like really introduced like what it is. It wasn't like full force into it. So that was really cool. Also too, you did get to learn what each position does and how well it is too. And I guess I'll just say this. So the basic premise of it is that there is this basically like this, what is it, like underage team for soccer to actually get into being like, again, it goes through like one like semi-pro and then also two Olympics basically. Like that's how linear it is. So it's like huge to get into one of these like soccer teams when you're young because then basically right you have a good chance of going pro. And so it like also explained that and basically the main character he wants to be a forward but then there are a lot of things that happened and he ends up learning a lot of different positions. So it was pretty interesting. All of
So
them
he
do, I guess.
learned to give up on his dreams and just not be a forward.
I think that you should watch it and then you'll be like, oh, this makes like so much sense.
Maybe he learned to adapt, Jake. You ever thought of that?
Maybe he learned that like you can be as good as you can be, but it won't be good enough.
Just gonna throw that out there. He's still on like a major team. So I was like, eh. But anyway, so that's the first one. The second one, because it's still in the same realm, was Blue Lock. Everybody like went crazy for this because it is a soccer anime, except it's like way more intense, I would say. And also too, they don't slow anything. It's basically like watching Ted Lasso. So like they'll throw in some elements, but really it's like some crazy shit happens. And so
So Ayoshi is more soccer than anime, and Blue Lock is more anime than soccer.
actually, yeah, that's a really good. And also too, right? Like it's a good intro to watch Aoishi first because then you can understand a lot more of what's going on in Blue Lock and why things are the way they are. Because it's also about a youth team. They're just older and trying to get in to basically become pro. And so it's like
Do
it's
they make up
crazy.
bullshit like you know how in anime when people do moves, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm about to do," and they'll say the name of the move or whatever. Do they do that in Blue Lock? Like,
Oh, I should say this. So for both of them, they do bring up like real soccer players. So Aoishi actually brings up only real soccer players, which is really cool. And you can see like different moves that they've done. In Blue Lock, they do the same thing, except they create a fictional character that plays for England, which is like really weird because there are so many players that literally play in like soccer. So like you'll see Messi, you'll see like Cristiano Ronaldo, but like you won't like they just made this dude up. I don't have no idea why. Like it's just so weird where I was like, this is like you had people to choose from. But anyway, so that's the only thing that's like, oh, this person did this and they're trying to imitate that move, but like really he's based off of somebody, but I have no idea. It just doesn't look the same. I just don't know
they
why they
didn't want
did
to give
that.
credit.
Yeah, I guess. But I was like, they did for all these other people. So it was just like, I don't know what's happening. Also, too, in the anime, they do not look how they look like even in like soccer life, I guess I should say. Like they look very, very different. Where I'm like, huh,
Oh,
I
like
guess that could
our
be.
Messi and Ronaldo like actual characters. They're not just mentioned. You see them.
Oh yeah, you see them play as like anime characters. But I was like, I don't think that's how Messi really looks like. And then I looked it up and I was like, that's not how he looks like. And then I was like, Ronaldo, I was like, huh.
Was this the sub or the dub?
Well, they're both the same.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
the English translation. Oh, let's use
No.
a name of a real player, but really, okay.
No, like they're for real. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter which one you listen to.
They just don't look like him.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
So does it
if
just look
it's-
like some generic anime boy with a tan, or
I would say that it still looks like Ronaldo, right? But like he's not as tan.
I see.
Uh-huh. And then with Messi, he has a completely different hairstyle. Like hair color, I guess I should say. So you can still tell it's like him, but like I don't know. Maybe they did that for a reason to be like, oh, hey, it isn't your image that's being used, but we can still use your name. I don't know. So,
it's just some other guy named Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever?
yeah, that happens to be like world renowned for soccer. Maybe that's why they threw in that random dude from like England that is based off of a real player, but like didn't use his real name. I don't know. It was just interesting. So, anyway, good animes. Good to watch. There's just a lot of stuff. Also, too, there definitely is fan service in Blue Lock, but
How old are they in Blue Lock?
yep, you're asking all the right questions. Yep, so they're still high school age. So some of them are 18, but some of them, like, they all vary in age.
Okay.
How old were they in Free, Jake?
I don't know. That's just a show about being comfortable with your body.
There's plenty of fan service in that.
If you got fan service out of it, I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, okay. If I got fan service out of that,
I'll just say this. There's, like, a sauna episode or whatever, so I was like, yeah, that's fan service. Like, that is a thing that happens in this anime. But that's not what this is about, though. It's about soccer and about friendship and then revenge and then also being the best. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk about the soccer animes that came out in the exact same year. And that one of them is just way more popular than the other.
so Haikyuu versus Blue Lock. Where are you sitting?
Oh, I wouldn't compare them.
Okay, so they're different enough.
What a cop out answer.
I would say this. I feel like with Haiku, it's like everybody is like, oh, heck yeah. Like, we're all in this together, like team building, like all of this other stuff. Blue Lock, it can't be like that because you're constantly changing your team. So, like, it really is to hone you to become the best player that you can be. Forget
So,
about people.
There
Blue
is
Lock's
an Iron team.
Blue Lock's about
Yeah.
independence and being a self-made individual, is what I'm getting.
Right. Or also, too, right, being adaptable to like different playing styles. Because the whole point, and this is like literally in the first like 10 minutes of the first episode, like there is I don't even know, this soccer organization that is not a part of the like youth teams, right? That become semi-pro and then go pro. So they're trying to become one so that they can actually like win the World Cup. And I don't know if you know this, but Japan has never won a World Cup. Also, too, the United States has never won a World Cup. Just throwing that out there.
That is the
And
least shocking
Mexico.
thing you have ever fucking said to me.
Oh, Mexico has also not won a World Cup.
Okay, that one is shocking to me.
How is that shocking?
I thought ball
Thought
is life,
what?
bro. Football is life. I don't know.
Yeah, and Europe is really
What
fucking good.
other sports do they have in Mexico?
They have all the same sports, Jake.
Yeah, do they have real football?
I
They
will
play
also
real
say,
football in Mexico.
I will also say this: the United
Hold on.
Kingdom and England have also not won the World Cup.
I want to
Basically.
retract what I just said. In my passion I yelled out. They play real football in Mexico.
Nope. Yeah.
In-
Everybody
in
already heard it.
reference
No,
to-
you can't
In
retract.
reference to Jake saying that, and I just meant he's referring to it as real football. Yes, they play American football in Mexico. They know what the sport is, Jake. Just like people play soccer here. Fucking, you want to hear something crazy, Jake? You can also play hockey in Mexico.
How? Where?
In a hockey rink. What?
On what
the fuck?
lake? Oh.
Jesus.
What, dude? I don't know what fucking sports they have in Mexico. I literally thought it was just soccer. And like maybe baseball.
We play all the sports here in the US. Why wouldn't you in other countries?
I don't fucking know. And no, we don't play cricket.
Some people do. There's cricket leagues and stuff.
Ew.
You can play any sport anywhere. It's not like Mexico's just like, if it ain't soccer, Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but I meant like, I don't know, nationally.
You mean globally?
Whatever. Like, is there opportunities for you being a youth fucking cricket player in Mexico? Probably not.
Well, we probably go somewhere else. You know? But okay. So Blue Lock and Ayoshi. I probably already said it wrong too. But last quick question. 12 episode, 24 episode seasons.
24 for both.
Damn.
Yeah, they were literally like basically the same.
I'm kind of glad to know that Blue Lock's fire.
I mean, Blue Lock did look good. I've never heard of the other one, and I blame Blue Lock for that.
You would be right.
All right, 2 soccer animes. Should I do mine since we share the other one, Jake?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Speaking of superheroes, yeah, it's not that superhero content is bad. It's that Marvel just kind of fucking is shit in the bed because I watched the 2nd season of Invincible. I'll tell you what, I loved the 1st season. I really enjoyed it. But I wasn't like dying for more at the end of it. Like it was good, and I was like, wow, that was really good. Yeah, I'd watch a 2nd season of it. And then season 2 dropped, and it had that thing with the weird release schedule. They dropped 4 episodes, and then they waited a long time for the other 4 episodes. During my sister's wedding, my cousin came over, and he watched the first episode of season 2 the day it dropped over here, and I didn't really care. I was like, I'll get to it when I get to it. It was all finally out, and people kept saying, "Oh, it's really good. It's really good. You should watch it." So I did. God damn, is season 2 a banger? Talk about just good ass content. It did the thing that the bear did, where a character I fucking hated in season 1 got so much growth and development in season 2, and this TV show is Trauma, the fucking TV show, and I think that's why it's good because it you got a teenage superhero, and so you got all the Spider-Man shit that people like. Oh, it's a fucking kid going to college, trying to balance work life, school life, dating, while being a fucking hero. So like that's already a dynamic that's tried and true, people love. But then this just I'm talking like everyone in the world knows what Invincible is, and I'm sure you two do, right? I don't know if you guys have seen the first season or not.
No, I have not seen the first season.
Stephanie?
Just the stuff that I had seen with you.
Okay. Invincible follows main character Invincible, who is a teenage superhero, gets his powers. His dad is a superhero that everyone knew already. And it's set in a world where, think The Boys, hyper violent superhero show that shows like the more, I'm going to say realistic, even though we're talking about superheroes here, the more realistic expectations of what would happen if people had superpowers. So blood, gore, a lot of like deaths, because obviously superpowers equal destruction. And the first season is very kind of like, it introduces you to all these characters. It has some crazy plot twists that I'm sure you guys already know about. And it kind of just drops at a spot where what's going to happen now? And then season 2 is just Invincible. His name's Mark, but Mark going around trying to figure out what he needs to do or how to move on from the events of season 1 and just, I guess, figure out his place in life or what his goals are, because he's really trying to like go to do the college thing, but also the world needs saving and just every single character is important. And whenever they're like on screen, it's like they're dealing with something. They're dealing with like their emotions about everything that just happened in a way that you just don't see that often. Even in like The Boys, I love The Boys, but The Boys doesn't like take the time to show you like how the people feel afterwards in the same way this does. Because The Boys is like, oh yeah, violence, boom, let's go. Ridiculous stuff. This one feels a little more grounded in actually exploring like, hey yo, we just went through some crazy shit. I'm not okay right now. And it's really fun to see. That being said, that doesn't mean that it's slow at all. Like shit is popping off all the time. And it literally had me at one point, I was like, some Game of Thrones shit. I say that as someone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones, but it gets crazy. And now I am dying to get to the third season. Now I am super excited. I'm like, I need it right fucking now. But I'm not going to read it because I could do that. But I'm enjoying just watching it and not knowing beforehand what's going to happen. Highly recommend.
Well, I think this was also produced by Seth Rogen, right? Who did The Boys and Preacher.
Seth Rogen is a character.
Oh,
too.
he didn't produce it?
No. Well, I'm sure he did. I think he did. I'm sure he's part of the team, but
Invincible producer. Definitely Justin Roiland.
what do you mean, bud?
Well, I'm sure he's not anymore.
The voice acting is amazing, by the way. Like,
I don't like I've had like a weird interest in fucking Invincible for forever.
it's really good. Like, it's really fucking good.
Because like I've seen the comic around for forever. Like I think I saw 11 like 500-page tomes or whatever of the comic sitting on the shelf. And I keep hearing everybody be like, yeah, bro, DC, Marvel fucking sucks. You got to read Image, bro. You got to read Invincible. And now there's a TV show. I guess I have an easy way to consume it.
Yeah, no, I recommend watching it. It's really good. Can't really say much. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say I'll have to get back into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't. Like, it's not something you can really talk about because it's spoilers. But there were multiple times in season 2 where I was like, holy shit, like you could end there and that would be a great season finale. And it just keeps going. And everyone that's read it and even like the people making the show have said season 3, every episode is gonna feel like a season finale because of like the shit that happens. So super excited. But yeah, that's Invincible season 2. Hard ass sell. Definitely go watch this.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll put it on my list.
All right, Stephanie, you got a crazy one. So I hear.
Yes, so the last thing that I have is Baby Reindeer. Have you all heard of it? Have you seen it?
I heard the lady fucking doxed herself.
I also heard that, and I've
Let-
heard of it.
Continue.
No, that's what I mean. I've literally just heard of it from you and my sister.
I heard the
Hope you
lawyer
said some
character
crazy shit.
doxed herself because apparently shit's based on a true story.
Well, the main character is the guy that it happened to, I think, right?
Yes.
Like he's playing himself.
And it is pretty bananas. I don't know. I don't want to like give too much away, but I'll give like the premise of it because again, everything happens in like the first episode. So it is based off of, so yes, he's a real person. And again, he is acting out what happened in his life. And also too, there is a book that's about this as well that he had made about, I guess, like this experience with the lady that you've seen that doxed herself. And so for people who don't know or who are like, I don't know if this is something I want to get into, there is a lot. And also too, this is a heavy like trigger warning. If you do not want to see things that are either violent
or sexual in nature, different things like that, I would say, like, just don't watch it. Like, there are specific episodes, and I think they'll tell you they have a little disclaimer before you watch them, which is really cool. So you know which ones where you're like, maybe this one isn't for me. And also, too, there is specific hate towards a specific identity that is also portrayed. So again, there's just a lot that's in this. But basically, it is about a stalker. And so this dude, right, he is having a hard time. He basically broke up with his girlfriend a while ago, but he is still living with her mom. And so he also works at a bar. He's trying to become a comedian. This is something he really wants to do, and it's just like not working out. And so there's this lady that comes in, and she's just crying and she's having a bad day and all of this other stuff. And so he sees her crying and is like, "Oh, I'm just going to do a nice thing." And so he's a bartender, so he just gives her like a drink, right? And so like instantly right then and there, you like see her expression change, and she just starts talking about all of the amazing things she's done as a lawyer. And you're just like, what the heck? But also too, she like says in the beginning that she can't afford this drink, and so the dude is like, "Oh, well, like don't worry about it, it's on the house." And so then she continues more, and then she starts complimenting him and telling him how attractive he is, like how amazing he is, like all of this stuff. And this continues for days on end until there's a point where it becomes too much, and then all of this other stuff kind of ensues. But it was really wild because I went into this and I was like, oh, okay, then it's just going to be like one of those, I don't know, like crime documentary things. This will be so great. It won't be like too deep. It gets really deep, and you do not see it coming in the beginning. You're like, oh, okay, then this is like a funny kind of sitcom thing, and then all of a sudden it just turns really dark really quickly. And again, I actually really like how real it was when you do experience trauma, and how you will self-sabotage yourself and put yourself in like really terrible situations after. And so again, I think a lot of people may not like that, but that is real life, and that does happen to people who go through very similar accounts of what he did. And so I would definitely recommend for people to see, just to be like, oh my goodness, this is somebody's life and this really happens. And also to maybe some of the things that you've gone through, or again, just like different things that you've done to cope with things aren't so out of the ordinary. Definitely seek help, but also too, they're not as either crazy or I guess out of nowhere that people really think they are.
Okay, so because we haven't seen this, we don't know the full gist of it. What are the implications of this woman outing herself? Like, is she like a really terrible person? Is it going to be bad for her that people know who she really is?
Yes, I would say so.
Criminal charges bad,
Mm,
or just like,
depending on where you're at, yeah.
damn?
Because I did say there was just a lot of terrible things done to a specific person because of their identity.
Sick.
So definitely don't watch this with your parents. Is what you're saying?
I'm sure my parents have already watched it, bud.
Oh well, I just meant in general. Like, it doesn't sound like something.
Watch it with your kids.
I would say don't watch it with your kids. Yeah. But like if again you're all adults, I don't think it's as crazy as I don't know, maybe like Saltburn, right? That one probably wouldn't be one, but with this one it is like just real stuff that can happen.
Saltburn was pretty mild. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay then. Well, then maybe this will be totally okay, is what I'm trying to say. But I think also too, there is like a really amazing moment that does happen with like the main character and his dad, which like you just don't see coming. And the dad is freaking hilarious. Like I just cannot. Like my goodness. And so again, there are some really funny parts. It's not just all dark humor. Like there is just like parts where you're like, oh, okay then. Like this dude is like a comedian. And you get to see I'm really hoping that is
maybe an embellished story. I don't doubt the things that he went through, but I'm like, if it really was exactly like that, that is some terrible shit. But anyway, just gonna leave that there, and I would recommend that you both watch it.
I'm just gonna clarify real quick. Slurping down on some cum on a
Is an activity plenty of men
bathtub
enjoy,
drain
Robert. I don't want to hear it.
is pretty tame stuff.
Women do.
All right, well, I guess I'm the outlier then.
Stop
Stephanie,
fucking king shaming, bro.
are you on the this is a normal activity, or are you on the outlier as well?
I would say I'm pretty much on the outlier because I'm like, I don't know.
I thought you were about to be like, yeah, no, that's pretty normal.
Just get on.
All right, so Baby Reindeer, watch it, and
Robert will king shame you.
if your kink is that, then yes, I will. Quote me on that. Robert, not inclusive to people who slurp down on cum.
Robert hates
off
it
of
when people drink cum.
Well, let's be fair here. Drink someone else's cum without their knowledge off of a fucking bathtub drain. Guess you don't need consent if it's already out of your body, huh?
I don't know if that's a topic we want to go down.
For the record, I think you do need consent for that. But anyway,
Stephanie,
Consent is always a good thing. Sorry, I don't know why that happened, but yeah. And I was like, it relates to Baby Reindeer, so there you go.
does somebody
Lovely.
drink cum in Baby Reindeer?
I think the consent part is what she's talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, could be both, but you never know.
Well, we watched another little show. Jake, do you want to start us off?
What's up? It's Jake here, big Fallout fanboy, and Amazon just put out this new Fallout TV show, and it's pretty good.
It's really fucking good.
Stephanie, what you know about Fallout?
I actually watched the first episode of the same series that you all are talking about, but I did not continue it because it literally just happened like 2 days ago. So
Have you played any of the games?
I have.
Which ones?
All right. So am I going through a list?
If you say Shelter, I'm quitting the podcast.
What do you? Okay. Also, too. Whoa. All right. I feel like that's a lot.
Have you not played Shelter, Jake? Because I have.
Everybody's played Shelter. It doesn't count. Fuck you.
Okay. Well, this isn't going to be a shocker for people that know me, I guess personally, but I played Fallout New Vegas for obvious reasons.
What do you mean for obvious reasons?
She's from Las Vegas. Dox you again.
Fallout New Vegas is my favorite video game ever made. Stephanie, why haven't you brought up that you played New Vegas? Fuck.
I mean, have we talked about it? Maybe we have talked about it one time before on
I
the
don't
podcast.
think we have. Because I think Robert's the only one who hasn't fucking played it.
Wait, have you not played it?
I have like 30 hours on it. I haven't beat it. There's a difference.
Oh.
But to be fair, 30 hours is a little bit for that game.
It's a good game. Yeah. I was about to say.
Have you beat it?
I have.
Okay, yeah, fuck me. I'm the only It's just me.
It's like an old game.
2010.
Rip Matthew Perry. He would have been on the show probably. A cameo.
Matthew Perry fucking killed it, bro.
Yeah.
Ring a ding ding, baby.
Anyway, but the show.
Well, Fallout New Vegas is the final.
Oh, she was gonna say something about New Vegas.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was gonna be like, actually, let's go back to the show, but also too. No, continue.
I was gonna say it's the wraps up the Fallout West Coast trilogy. It's really good. Everybody should play Fallout New Vegas.
Okay, some more about the show.
Yeah, this is probably the best piece of Fallout media we've gotten in 10 years, and I believe 10 years ago we got Fallout 4.
Also haven't played it 4. Well, played some of it. But I don't know. Would you say the TV show is better than Fallout 4?
Yes, that's not even a question.
All right. Oh.
Like the TV show is like, as I said, the best thing to come out of Fallout in like 10 years. Like Shelter doesn't come close, 76 doesn't come close, 4 doesn't come close. It might be better than 3. But also, if we didn't have 3, I guess, well, I don't know, it's weird, because like without Fallout 4, we wouldn't have the TV show, because a lot of the aesthetic does come directly from Fallout 4. Like fusion cores and the way the Brotherhood is operating in the show, because it's the East Coast Brotherhood, if I'm not mistaken, are basically from Fallout 4. But yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got influences from New Vegas, got influences from 4, got influences from 3, got references to Fallout 1 and 2. Mwah. Fallout is one of my favorite video game franchises, and it's just a awful time to be a Fallout fan right up until the show came out. Just watching one of your favorite fucking franchises just get absolutely shit on. But now I have the show, and then hopefully this will drive more fanfare or whatever, more heat. For
5
maybe a good
million.
Fallout game.
5 million people went back to play the Fallout games throughout all of them.
Yeah.
I think it was 1 million for 76 or 4, and then but the total for 3, New Vegas, 4, 76 was 5 million people uptick.
I mean, yeah, that's not surprising to me at all because like the show is really good. So I was just saying, it's got a little bit of everything. So the show centers around 3 characters. You have Lucy, the Vault Dweller, who she basically has the same exact fucking storyline from Fallout 3.
Cooper.
Ventures out into the wasteland
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going
for whatever reason. Yeah, and then we got Maximilian, who was an initiate to, I believe, the East Coast Brotherhood because they work differently than the West Coast Brotherhood.
Maximus.
Yeah, so I guess if you liked the Fallout 4 Brotherhood of Steel, he's your man. And we got fucking Cooper, who represents the entirety of New Vegas. That man is New Vegas incarnate. And my God, this fucking radioactive cowboy ghoul says some of the hardest shit I've ever heard in a fucking fictional TV show.
Isn't it wild that he's like one of the only people that didn't play the games?
I mean, he killed it either way.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many banger fucking lines, bro, that come out of Cooper's fucking mouth.
He's really cool in both of his. Well, it's the same role, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do this shit for the love of the game.
Yeah. I'd offer you a tomato, but you got a hole in your neck.
Ass jerky ain't gonna make itself, bro. This like the show is so fucking good. Because like
it's very funny.
Because like the Fallout games are basically black comedies. Like everything that is happening in the world of Fallout is fucking awful all the time, constantly, and shit's fucked. But the games are also really funny. But like I like that the show manages to keep like a balance of like humor and absolutely fucking the bleakness of a real world apocalypse. And I do like that it like they managed to capture the essence of what at least Fallout New Vegas is about. I haven't beaten 1, but you could argue Fallout 1, every single Fallout game is about the same fucking thing, which is factions and people fighting over various things in the wasteland. And the show manages to introduce somebody who's never like interacted with the Fallout universe to all of it, basically. Because like Fallout has a lot. Like it introduces you to the Vault-Tec lore. It introduces you to the Chinese-American War before the bombs dropped. It introduces you to the Brotherhood of Steel, vaults, and the weird way in that they're all different. Introduces you to like the NCR and like unaligned civilizations, like in Philly. Like it's really fucking good. Plus, it's got that. It's one thing to see like the retro futurism in the games, and then there's another thing to like see actual props that like, hey man, here's a foot that you just fucking cheese grades your leg off and then replaces your foot.
Yeah, that was a brutal fucking scene.
Absolutely fucking brutal. This show has some of the most disgusting gore I've seen in a show in a very long time. Like, was The Last of Us this bad?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember it being that gory. Was it pretty gory, Stephanie?
Not really.
Yeah, I think this one definitely like plays it up. And then can we talk about like, especially in that scene where the one where you're talking about where he's like, I do this for the game. Like,
I do this shit for the love of the game.
It feels like fucking the Pip-Boy fucking attacks. Like just the way he shoots and the way it moves. It's not slow motion or anything, but it just really captures how you use the fucking.
Well, yeah, it feels like how he's using VATS, even though
yeah,
he doesn't
VATS,
have a fucking Pip-Boy.
But it just looks like that, and I'm like, damn, that's so good.
I mean, like, goddamn, he's such a good fucking. Like, that's why I like the West Coast, is because you get the cowboy shit. You don't get a lot of the yeehaw cowboy shit on the East Coast.
He's also very charismatic.
That too.
I mean, Ella Purnell is our golden goose.
Who?
The chick that plays Lucy. This is the second video game adaptation that she's started that
What's
has
the other
been a 10 out of 10. She's Jinx.
Oh, not good for her.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, she's like, I don't know, she's really good at playing the fucking like naive vault dweller. I also just like how like they don't shy away from how weird the culture is, and everybody's just a confirmed cousin fucker.
yeah, that does happen. That happens in the first episode. So you
Yeah, I
saw
was
that.
like, are they implying that she fucks her cousin? And then it's like not
Yes.
even an implication. It's just oh no, that's absolutely what happened. But you know, that's kid stuff. You only bang your cousin when, you know, you can't get a real boyfriend.
Oh man, the dialogue is just so good too, though.
No, like I think the writing is just fucking. It's like astronomically good. Like the Fallout universe has so much shit to work with, but then like you put it in the hands of mediocre writers, and then you get like unsatisfying storylines, like you did in 4, or
Then you
like
put it into good writers, and you get. You want to explode my cock?
you want to explode my cock now, bro? Oh fuck, bro. I like. Oh man, it's a good time to be a Fallout fan. I'm fucking so stoked that I have something to celebrate after 10 years of just mediocrity.
So, did you only watch the first episode because of time constraints, or like did it just not sell you on the show?
Time constraints.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should finish this shit, especially if you played New Vegas. But yeah, the show does make some calls about the lore. Like it makes some hard ass calls about the lore that I was not expecting. So I don't know if they make a game that takes place during or after this show. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Like who dropped the bombs?
Like some of the pre-war shit, some factions are gone from the lore. And some factions have obviously changed or dominate. Like the East Coast Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is now like clearly the most dominant Brotherhood of Steel faction.
So, so both of you have played that fucking game. Then I'm the only one that hasn't. So, does this mean Caesar's Palace is gone?
Caesar's Legion? I have no idea.
Caesar's Legion, yeah.
Maybe it'll come back up, but there are some implications that it would make sense for them not to be.
I'm excited that they didn't even like that they saved Death Claws for season 2.
Yeah, I mean, also like they took it as an excuse to make some interesting monster designs.
Yeah,
That
Stephanie, you haven't gotten there, but it's like, hey, Robert, you don't like bears?
The Yao Guai, those are always the thing. I hate to break it to you, bro. There's an entire DLC dedicated to fighting them in New Vegas.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't.
So yeah, if you're afraid of bears, what about gigantic mutated radiated bears?
I mean, I saw an Annihilation.
But yeah, holy shit, this just show's good. Also, fucking little kid from Wizards of Waverly Place. Like, haven't seen him in a long ass time. But
You're talking
yeah,
about
he's back.
Rico?
Yeah,
God
fucking
damn it.
Norman.
Okay,
Norman's cool, bro. Norman's one of my favorite characters
Is
in the
this
show.
me showing my age, Stephanie, or are we both on the same boat there?
That we're old.
Is he Rico to you, or is he Norman?
He's Norman. Sorry, old man.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. That is not something that entered my brain space.
Did you just not recognize him?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you. There are people that like I know them, right? But like I don't know their names, and sometimes I even forget the names of like what they've played before. You know,
Mm.
so I'm not the person to ask.
Well, he'll always be Rico from Hannah Montana to me. And you know what? Jocelyn, who is younger than you, Jake, she's like, "Oh, is that the one with Rico?" And I was like, "Yes, it is." So,
I mean, he'll always be that fucking guy from Wizards of Waverly Place to me.
oh, is his name not Norman? What was it?
No, I have no fucking idea what his name is in Wizards of Waverly Place. I have no idea what his name is, bro. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, it is what it is. Fallout, great TV show. Everyone watch it. Really fucking good.
Fucking superb piece of media. Plus, like,
Can't wait for season 2.
yeah, they just stole the entire Fallout 4 soundtrack, which is a banger, and then just play that shit throughout the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fucking good. The whole thing.
But yeah, as I said, I'm gonna be very curious to see if they keep the show canon with the games or not. But also, I guess it won't really matter because the show takes place on the West Coast, and they're probably gonna make another Fallout game on the East Coast.
Well, I guess that's it for TV shows. I did a little bit of reading.
Gross.
Y'all heard of Dan to Dan?
Yes.
Mhm.
Stephanie, what you know about Dan to Dan?
I was about to say, Robert, you had brought this up.
So, pretty much everyone who's been an editor for Fujimoto, fucking Chainsaw Man, dude, is throwing out straight bangers after they dip. And Dan to Dan is one of those. And been waiting. And it's just because, like I said, that's why I didn't read Hell's Paradise. I like being able to go on the app and just reading straight from there. So me having to go to a browser to read manga is not something I prefer to do. But one day I was like, you know what? Let's try Dan to Dan out. And believe it or not, I had no idea what it was about. Like I was like, maybe I'll like it. And then I was just like, when I saw what it was about, I was like, oh, of course I'm going to be into this shit. It opens up with this girl and this guy. They start talking. And this girl goes up to this guy just because she just got broken up with and she's trying to do something. And this guy's like, just like reading his book. And she goes up and she's like, hey, starts talking to him. And then he doesn't even give her the time of day. And she's like, all right, whatever, then I'm out. And as she's leaving, he's like, wait, hold on a sec. There's only one reason a girl like you would talk to a guy like me. And she's like, no, buddy, you got the wrong idea. And he's like, because you believe in conspiracies too, right? And you want to know? And then he's like showing her all these things where like, reptilians, underground people. He believes in like all these conspiracies and aliens and stuff. And he's like, you want to know more stuff, right? Like about this? And she's like, no, bro. Aliens ain't even real. And he's like, what the fuck? You don't believe in aliens? What do you mean? Like in all these conspiracies? And she's like, yeah, no, but my grandma's like, into all this sort of stuff and like spirits and ghosts. And they're real. And this kid's like, nah, fuck you. Ghosts aren't real. And she's like, you believe in aliens and conspiracies, but you don't believe in ghosts? And he's like, well, they're not real. And so then they start arguing about whether aliens or ghosts are real. And they're like, all right, bet. You don't believe in aliens? There's this building, and there's supposed to be aliens in there. Why don't you go check it out? And she's like, all right, bet. There's this haunted fucking tunnel, and there's supposed to be ghosts there. Why don't you go check it out? And so they each go to their respective places, and they're on the phone with each other. And then he's like, well, okay, so you've seen ghosts. And she's like, no, I actually have never seen a ghost. And he's like, the fuck? Then why are you telling me that there's ghosts? And she's like, well, how many aliens have you seen? He's like, well, I've never seen an alien. And they're like, okay. And right then, some aliens pull up to her, and a ghost pulls up to him. And this is where we're gonna lose some people. The ghost is this really old lady, and she's like, hey, yo, let me suck your dick.
Yo! All right, sold.
And
I'm in there. We in there, boys.
he's like, what? And she's like, I'll let you do whatever you want to me, but let me suck that dick. And he's like trying to get away. And meanwhile, the girl runs into this group of aliens that are all male. And so they can't reproduce. And so they want to use her to reproduce.
It was a lot hotter with the old lady. Don't know how I feel about this other one here.
And so they tie her up and, or well, they don't really tie her up. They put her on a fucking, the alien thing where you got fucking.
Okay.
This is some crazy shit.
No, it really is. It really is. Like right off the bat, it's pretty wild. And this is all in the first chapter, so it'll be the first episode that drops when the TV show comes out in October. And so they're trying to do their thing, and she's stuck there. And meanwhile, homie over there is getting possessed by this ghost woman that really wants to. Yeah, both the ghosts and the aliens are really about those reproductive organs, if you guys know what I mean. And then he somehow goes through the phone as this possessed spirit of this woman, shows up there and starts fucking them up. And while the aliens are also still like trying to do their thing with her, she taps into some energy that she has from her grandma, and they manage to get out of there. Except now homie is possessed. And they do this thing where they try and like get rid of the possession, but it ends up being that this ghost woman took his dick. So he no longer has a dick. But he's able to tap into her powers every once in a while.
So you trade your dick for ghost powers? Is that just the way it works?
Well, eventually, and this happens really quickly, they manage to kind of sort of get his dick back, and everything's all good. And then they have the spirit of the ghost is in like this little cat. And then I think I sent you guys both a picture of this, but everything's all fine and dandy. And he's like, yeah, I got my dick back. But then he realizes he's missing his balls.
Bro.
And so they go back to the spirit lady and they're like, hey, yo, where my balls at? And she's like, see, the thing about that is I lost them. And so now they have to find his balls. And also there's a lot of shit going on because spirits, monsters, conspiracy theories, aliens, all that shit, it's all basically real. And the main plot point that you get at the end, or not at the end, but like throughout it, is the only thing keeping all these aliens from coming and attacking Earth is all these spirits that are on Earth. Because the aliens do not have the technology to defeat the spirits, and they don't know how the spirits work. So what you have is a manga that's going to be an anime that references any and every fucking conspiracy theory, aliens, folklore tales of spirits and everything. So of course I'm in it for that, but also it's really funny. And then also it references almost every anime you can think of. They got mech shit in there. They got some JoJo shit in there. They got like some isekai shit in there, but they do it very much in like a. It's not really a parody. It's more like an homage, and it's just got a little bit of everything. So, I think a lot of people are gonna like this if they get over the initial like shock of how weird it gets real quick.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm pretty sold.
So, and you don't have to read it. You can just watch it when it comes out in October.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I saw the trailers and the show looked pretty fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, that too. It does look really good. So yeah, Dan to Dan, give it a read. Wait for the watch. Still recommend. And that's it. That's all I read. So if you got a YouTube thing, Jake, because I think you're done, right, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jake, what's your YouTube?
Let's see. So, Last Dinosaurs just dropped an EP. I think they technically dropped two, but Kiel by Last Dinosaurs, fucking fire ass album. Think you guys are probably gonna enjoy the Keys to Your Civic. That's the most radio friendly rock pop song they have on here. But my personal favorite is Paranoia Paradise.
The Keys to Your Civic. I mean, I already like that title.
That's really good. And the music videos are all pretty fun to watch too. I think they NPD, yeah, Keys to Your Civic and Paranoia Paradise all have music videos. They're pretty fun. But yeah, Less Dinosaurs. a band I've liked for a very long time. I did not know they were, one, old as fuck. They're apparently from 2007. Two, I did not know they were Australian.
I've literally never heard of them.
You have absolutely heard Last Dinosaurs.
I have.
You might not have heard of them, but you have heard them.
Then I don't know that I've heard them.
I'm sure you've heard Apollo. That was one of their big hits, I guess. But yeah, if you're in the mood for some indie pop rock with good bass and a lot of angst, check it out.
Okay. I mean, I definitely will. And we'll link it. And now, before we go, the moment everyone's been waiting for. Definitely the most anticipated thing.
Oh my god, just get
Talk
it out
about.
already.
I listened to Taylor Swift's new album,
Fuck out of here. Who
The
cares?
Tortured Poets Department.
I just cannot. This is what I've
And
been
I-
waiting for.
And I have some words to say about it. So, this album has been getting a lot of hate by people online, and I understand where they're coming from. Taylor Swift has been known to, for the last couple of albums, bring out a different, brand new sound to her in most of these, and just switching up genres a little bit while still remaining a little pop centric. And so, some people were like, all right, what's coming out? What's next? What's new? And this is basically just more Taylor Swift. Like there's not a single track on here that's new or that stands out as, like, every single other album has had a song or a couple of songs where you're like, oh shit, that's what this album is. I can't, not with this album.
Hell
This
has
album-
frozen over. Robert has not glazed the fuck out of a Taylor Swift album yet.
Well, he has 4 of them that made up one.
Okay, yes. So she did do this thing, which, again, she's a fucking genius when it comes to selling shit and making money.
Or an exploitative.
I respect the grind, all right? Like, if you got this fan base, go ahead and milk them.
Yeah, you just don't get it, Stephanie. You just don't know what it's like to abuse people for their money.
So, in a
And
genius,
exploit
albeit
them out of
malicious
all of their money.
move, she dropped 4 different versions of this album, each one having one unique song that the others wouldn't.
That's fucking stupid.
But people bought them, myself
Yeah, no
included.
shit.
And then the album dropped, and on streaming services, and it had all those songs except for the 4 that you were going to get in the CDs. So it's like, okay, cool. And so all these people have already pre-ordered these albums. And then, surprise, surprise, it's a double album that she drops at 2 a.m. And so now the anthology one, has the original album, all 4 of those songs that are unique to those 4 CDs, and then some. So, of course, fans are going to buy that too. So, yeah, a little exploitative. What you going to do? As much hate as it got, you also have the Swifties who fucking, before the, Kendrick and Drake beef, she had all 10 of the top 100 spots. All 10 of them. That's insane.
This is making me really nostalgic for LimeWire.
And
I feel like it's going to make a big comeback, and that's going to be Taylor Swift's fault.
but see, here's what I have to say about the album. I like it.
Of course you do.
I enjoy it.
Of course you did.
This album dropped, and it was super fun to just listen to those songs with another Swiftie at the same time, and not having to be like, oh yeah, I totally didn't recognize that she's referencing a song from another album right here. Oh, I don't have to hide the fact that I get excited about all the little details that I notice because I've been a fan and I know all these things, and like just get excited over the little details. Because like if you do that with a normal person, it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. No one cares. But like just being excited and listening to it with someone else and being able to talk about it and dissect it is a really fun thing to do. And I haven't been able to do that with any other music. So that was fun. And I think that's who this album was for. It was for people that like Taylor Swift. Like, it makes sense.
I'm happy you're happy, bud.
But I totally get that it didn't do anything new as far as a Taylor Swift album, and yeah, that's about it. I still listen to a couple of the songs. If I had to rank her albums, this one wouldn't be at the top, but it's fine.
What is Taylor Swift's best album, Rob? Drop it now.
Okay, so a lot of people are gonna have a lot of different things to say about that. Uh, fuck. If I had to pick one on the spot right now, I'd probably just say Red. So that's my opinion.
There were some good songs.
What songs are on Red?
Huh?
Red.
Red is a song, but that's the ones you'll know. It's like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is on that album. I Knew You Were Trouble is on that album. All Too Well is on that album, which is a fucking banger. Certified Hood Classic. But you probably don't know that song, so Stays on that album. I can do this all day. we don't gotta do that.
Stephanie, who's a better artist, Katy Perry or Taylor Swift?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I'd choose either of those.
Bruh.
Yeah, sorry.
You know, Jake, who do you think won? Kendrick or Drake?
I didn't even listen to any of the fucking disses.
I'm just saying, Taylor Swift has a Kendrick collab, so if we're talking about who won the bad blood between Katy and Taylor.
Was that what that album was about?
What that song was about.
Was it?
Bad Blood? Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I know this?
You're right. But yeah, I get it. Taylor Swift's not that exciting to people, but you know, she is to me.
And on that note, I think we should close this podcast.
Yeah, I quit.
Well, I mean that is all we have to talk about.
So Taylor Swift, fuck that album. Less Dinosaurs. Kyo, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna link the Taylor Swift album, but I will link the other one.
Publicity, bro.
She does not need publicity.
She needs the exposure. Why wouldn't you shout out your girl?
I don't need to.
Why do you hate Taylor Swift, bro?
How many people in the world do you think know who The Last Dinosaur is?
Last Dinosaurs?
Or Last Dinosaurs, yes.
They're a pretty popular band.
You're right. They have 500.
More popular in other countries than America, but you know, I'm just a worldly guy.
They have 511,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Okay.
I'm not even going to look up how much Taylor Swift has.
Am I being fucking scolded for being too much of a hipster? What do you want from me?
No, I'm just saying, like, she doesn't need publicity. It's 114 million, by the way.
I don't care.
611,000.
That's just how I know that the youth doesn't have taste.
But yeah, we did it again. Another podcast done. And, you know, I think this one was shorter again, too.
Record time, boys. It's because I'm in school and I don't have free time for fucking anything.
Next time it'll be longer, but also to take us home.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Okay, bye. Fuck Taylor Swift. Fuck her. I fucking hate her. Fuck that bitch. I don't give a fuck. Taylor Swift stands can come after me. She makes dog shit music for fucking dog shit listeners. I don't care.
All right, bye.